Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. So we had just recently talked about Rihanna's Unapologetic. Be sure to check that out. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I truly appreciate it. There will be more on Patreon. There will be more on Spotify as far as exclusive episodes and videos. Be sure to check them out. I wanted to talk about Brandy's Never Say Never album. This is the month that it had came out in 1998. And I felt as though, what better way to talk about it as she and Monica recently just came out to feature in a music video with Ariana Grande. So it's just, okay, we see Brandy again. It's been a while. And I just think, why not just talk about her? As far as what we already was doing before, but just to where the boy is mine comes from. So, here's the parent album of it. Never Say Never is the second album by Brandy. It was released June 9th, 1998. So, it's the 13th, maybe the 14th, whenever you see this. But, yeah, just a few days, 4 days ago, was the anniversary. Atlantic Records consulted David Foster as well as producer Rodney Darkchild Jerkins and his team to work with Norwood on the record. Jerkins went on to craft the majority of the album and would evolve as Norwood's mentor and head producer on her succeeding projects. The lyrical themes on the album include the singer's personal experiences with love, monogamy, media bias, and maturity. Influenced by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, Norwood wanted to present a more mature facet of herself with the album, incorporating a ballad-heavy style and an adult contemporary feel into her urban pop sound for the album. Upon its release, Never Say Never facilitated Norwood in becoming a viable recording artist with media crossing appeal. It debuted at number 3 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart, selling 160,000 copies in its first week, and peaked at number 2 the following week, remaining within the chart's top 20 for 28 weeks. 6 of the album's 16 songs were chosen as singles, including Duet with Monica, The Boy Is Mine, and Have You Ever, which both topped the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 as well as the single Top of the World, which became an international hit. Never Say Never became Norwood's highest selling album and highest charting album to date in most international markets, being certified quintuple platinum. That's the word for 16 copies. Oh wow. Okay, so quintuple platinum is another way of saying that with the Recording Academy, that it sold 16 million copies, over 16 million worldwide. It won numerous awards and accolades, including a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocals for The Boy Is Mine. The album was supported by the Never Say Never World Tour, which included sold-out shows in North America, Europe, and Asia. Now, the Never Say Never World Tour, oh my God. Wait a minute. Let me look at see. This track listing, I would have enjoyed this track. Oh, she was here on my birthday. Well, no, not here, but she was touring and performing on my birthday in Germany. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, she was in Japan in 99. Okay, so that's gonna piece into what we're talking about with this album too, because as I'm looking at these tour dates, Moesha is very much thriving as well. So it's just kind of like, whoa. Um, she was not in Boston when she came to North America, though. There was only a couple of shows that she did. Um, they're more. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She was out here. She was in Mansfield. She was in Mansfield. Okay. The Tweeter Center. She was out here. Let me stop. It's now the Xfinity Center, but yes, when it was called the Tweeter Center, she was here. Oh my God, let me stop. She was here. She came a month after my birthday, but she was here actually this month in June. So it was just like, okay. Oh, I didn't know that she came here. See, you know what? Just for that, whenever she do go on tour, I may have to go see her. Why not? She was here. I didn't even know she really was here. And then after she was here, she went straight to Maryland. Like, she was here and then just went straight to Maryland. Oh my God. Okay. That, yeah, that's something. Because I would have never known that. No, not, I mean, we look at people touring, but where do they go? Like, what cities do people really go to that, people be like, you need to go here? They are booking you. They want you here. Come on, let's go. Like we don't always look into that. So that's really interesting that she was in Massachusetts back in '99 in June. That's really interesting. She literally was down the street, and I would have never known. Would have never known. Because I mean, at the time I was really young, but of course you're looking on TV being like, oh, Moesha's on, and you just don't even realize, like, yeah, she's literally like about 20 miles away touring, like, like you could have just, if I could have, with a lot of artists, honestly. Um, but yeah, background of the album following the release of her multi-platinum, um, eponymous, meaning like album with your name, debut album in 1994, and several equal successful soundtrack contributions such as Sitting Up in My Room from Waiting to Exhale 1995 and Missing You from Set It Off 1996. Norwood took a lengthy musical break. Yeah, because from 1994 to 1998, it was going on 4 years. She did soundtracks now, and that she was also doing a show, in which she had graduated from high school, yes, enrolled in college, and established a flourishing acting career. Yeah, she just went back to school. Aaliyah did the same thing. They just went back to school. In 1995, she was cast in the role for Moesha, and in the following 2 years, she appeared opposite her idol Whitney Houston in the musical television film Cinderella, and filmed in the slasher sequel I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, 1998. So yeah, she did movies as well. It was on an ongoing show, was in school, enrolled in college. She was doing a lot. And then was touring within that year of the movies coming out back to back. Okay? While she enjoyed her acting profile accomplishments, Norwood felt that her transition had caused people to recognize her more as an actress than as a singer. Yeah. Yeah. At one point, she even considered giving up singing to concentrate on acting due to the ever-changing music industry and losing her passion for it. According to her, I think the music industry has changed so much. I don't know how to look at my first video. There was so much happening, and I'd rather go out with the first album being bang and not have to come back and not be able to do the same thing again. Nevertheless, after Brandy's commercial success, she was heavily pressured, stating, "It's very important to me that my music connects with the general public." For a while, she placed the recording of the album on the back burner because she was barely satisfied with the material that was presented to her. She found that many songs would not express what she wanted to tell at that point of her career. According to her, many of the songs I heard were not me. The singer stated during a promotional interview with Jet in 1999, and if I can't feel it, then I won't sing it. Also, after Brandy, she felt in a space of wanting to do something different while exploring her voice and playing with different sounds. Elaborating on her desire for progression and a more mature sound. Norwood added that I'm not the little girl I was when I made my first record. My voice is a strong instrument now. My vocals come from both my heart and my diaphragm. My heart, because I matured in the 4 years since the last album, I'm more emotionally there. Also regained interest with music when she met then up and coming producer Rodney Jerkins and his production team. They really turned it around. When I met Rodney, his tracks were so mean, so unbelievable, and the writing that Sean and Jaffe did, they came to the table and they really brought a lot of the feelings that I had inside of me out. They changed my whole perspective on the music thing. When I started to work with them, I wanted to go to the studio every day. I wanted to sing every day. I didn't want to act anymore after that. Yeah, she just was like, listen, I need to get back out there then, if that's what it is. But yes, as far as with, the production of the album, she wanted to make sure that she was requesting, certain people that, she could work with. And being influenced by, heavy artists like Mariah Carey and Whitney, you're kind of wanting a higher, spectrum for yourself with that. And, with having Rodney Jerkins, who was inspired by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the way that they're partnered, as opposed to Devontae Swing with Jodeci, he's saying, I want to make sure this is something we can really mesh and have something really cohesive here. But yes, all the songs. Let's get into the release. Let's see how the release had went. Yeah, when she pretty much released the album, there were different live performances where she appeared on the late night with Conan O'Brien, CBS This Morning, live with Regis and Kelly, and at that time, even Rosie O'Donnell, there was a lot of promo that you could do, when you can, as far as going to different television networks and being able to say, hey, I'm here, let me just showcase a piece of the album and get you guys to see me, because I'm out here making sure you guys get to have the best music. It's a real thing, and it was a real thing even back then. And so, even when she did cover shoots, she did different cover shoots for Teen People and Ebony, and there was a lot of commercials that she did as well. Even had her own doll, the critical reception, received mostly positive reviews. Gave the album 4 out of 5 stars and noted it is a better, more adventurous record than her debut. Adding, Brandy wisely decides to find a middle ground between Mariah Carey and Mary J. Blige. It's an adult contemporary with a slight streetwise edge. Her delivery has improved, and her subdued vocals can make mediocre material sound convincing. Ooh. Still, what makes Never Say Never a winning record is the quality songs and production. Yeah. Rolling Stone magazine was generally positive with the album, giving it 3 stars out of 5. Rating, and wrote, Brandy exudes more pizzazz than the Hanson brothers combined and bursts with enough naive charm to make Jewel look like a jaded sailor. Her second album bubbles with that same ever since. Um, Felt that Norwood's voice was lacking passion on the album. Why would they say she was lacking passion? Although he indicated that it was hard to argue with Brandy's deference to the rhythm, especially when she rides one of the producer Rodney Jerkins' itchily propulsive tracks. He also noted that it was flattening its emotional range until the romantic bliss of happy. Okay, so and that was another thing with critics here. They would dissect songs, and they would get to a place where it's like, oh, no, this song hits for me, but this song hits for me, but then this song could have been. It's like we're talking about the album. We're not just talking about individual songs, and I feel like that's where I can make this very unbalanced and unbiased, as I already have before with other music and other topics, because it's just like, no, like, it's a great album, despite it releasing and being it debuted at number 3. It still had been ranked as the 13th best-selling album of 1998 with total sales of 2.9. So it's like over time the sales were like coming in where it's like, oh my god, great, because they're still watching Moesha. She's not on TV. By June 2004, Never Say Never sold 4.5 million copies, and that was already in the midst of her pretty much already releasing Aphrodisiac, or around that time. So she already was having sales still from this album as opposed to releasing a new one. So she was pretty much good to go for, and still is, the sales still coming in. But yes, as far as the track list, it starts with track 1, which is Intro, track 2, which is Angel in Disguise. Now, that's a fan favorite. A lot of people love Angel in Disguise. Track 3 is The Boy Is Mine, a duet with Monica. Now, see, the thing is with The Boy Is Mine, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, they did it, and they had it's a joint single, so it's not just on Brandy's album, it's also on Monica's album, and yeah, it did them both justice. It did them both well. I don't believe in the fact that it wouldn't have been something if, I think that this was meant to be for them. They needed something in that time for themselves to be able to showcase themselves, and what better way to do it with each other, and it's a great song. And then there's track 4, which is Learn the Hard Way. It will never be the same. Yeah, like she was done. She was over it all. She was just done. And she may have had some dating going on. She may have had some miscommunications, but she was like, I'm over it. Almost Doesn't Count was track 5, which kind of ties in with that. Yeah, you can't keep doing one thing and another. We gotta figure it out at some point, and if we can't, then at least we know that doesn't mean anything. That's not gonna make anything better. And Top of the World, that's the second time I did that. Track 6, featuring Mace, that's a good song. It had a music video as well. So like The Boy Is Mine had a music video, Almost Doesn't Count had a music video, Top of the World had a music video. The next track, You Don't Know Me Like You Used To, track 7, had a music video. I think that was one of the songs on this album that you really got to hear her vocally. And You Ain't Missing Me At All, You Don't Know Me Like You Used To. It's very direct. It's what it is. In the beat, it's punchy. I like it a lot, and she did great. As far as Never Say Never, that's the title track of the song. Um, the sounds on it, it's you hear the down, like you can hear like different like um, what I can honestly say is you can really hear um, and this is going to be something that I'll be saying a lot in most 90s albums. You can hear 90s in a great way. Like you can hear the fusion of different sounds that may have been a higher pitch that match with the voice, that match with the sense of the layering. Like you can hear it, and it's just what a time. But Never Say Never, it's overlooked. It's underrated. No one really be pitching that song enough. Truthfully too, which is track 9. She sang really well on Truthfully. Um, yeah. Have You Ever, which is track 10, which is a great song too. Diane Warren wrote that song. Track 11, we just put that on everything that's slept on. That's a good song. I would actually listen to that song at times and just be sitting back like, this is chill. And be in the car. If you looking to find, like, come on now. But track 12, in the car interlude, that's a good one. Well, it's not a song, that's just them talking, but that's a good way of just segueing into the next song, which is Happy, which I was looking at. I'm like, oh my god, Happy. I'm at the happy part of this track list, yes. But yes, as far as with Happy, that's slept on. I don't think y'all listen to Happy enough. And she's performed it a few times, and I just, y'all sleep on the Happy song. One Voice, that's a good song too. And then Tomorrow, the song Tomorrow is not really slept on. I feel like it's just one of those ballads that people know of, and they just know it's one of those like. So, what would be the best way of saying it? Like, the one I gave my heart to, Aaliyah, Tomorrow, or even Have You Ever, with Brandy, and then it's like Take Him Back or Street Symphony with Monica. Like there's those ballads that just be like, why did you try me? There's just those 90s ballads where they just be like, why did you try me? Like Tomorrow, Street Symphony, like, if I can get him out of the streets, then he can come back to me. Like, listen, and Aaliyah was singing and saying, how could the one I gave my heart, like, they was letting us know, like, they was upset. These girls were upset. But, with track 16, Everything I Do It For You, great song, great cover, and she sang down. And I think what it was at that time, because we didn't get Full Moon until 2002. So there was a whole lot going on from 98 to 2002, which we can talk about Full Moon too. But it's just, you heard in this album when it was recorded from 97 into 98 that it was just like, okay, she's really having, a sense of herself, control of what she wants and how she's going to do it. And a lot of young stars at that time, like her, were peaking with that, even down to a Britney Spears who was emerging, a Christina Aguilera, which was emerging. These are pop girls, though, but we can talk about them. Why not? You already, if we're talking June 1998, we may have already had or was starting to have a Erykah Badu. Of course, Janet was already back and touring by this time with the Velvet Rope tour, and there was all these different artists that were just emerging back to back. I believe Jill Scott was coming in within the next year or so. There was Maya. I'll be talking about Maya too. Maya came out this year as well, so it's just like everybody was coming the fuck through by the late 90s. Everybody was coming out. And then, you know, like I said, there was just a lot that she was doing at that time that, you know, by 2000, 2001, in the peak of Moesha and, you know, a lot of other things that were happening, she had to get back into the studio again. And in the midst of releasing Full Moon, um, she had a beautiful daughter, which we will talk about more when we talk about Full Moon. But as far as this episode, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and listening, and I will be back with more.